Welcome to Doing Outdoors. I'm Benj and we're up the land today. The mission today is to build the greenhouse. We're now just coming into February, so the growing season is about to start. So we've got to get this greenhouse up before we miss another season. But before we do, we've got some hungry pigs that need feeding. Got to sort the chickens out and then we'll jump up straight to it. So if you can remember from a couple of videos back, I showed you this collapsed greenhouse. It was given to us from somebody in the village where we live. They'd finished with it. So we got the greenhouse, plus we got everything that was in the greenhouse. We got staging, trays, greenhouse heaters, propagators. So we got a lot of stuff for nothing, and you can do that quite regularly if you know the right people to talk to, look at the right places. If you look on places like eBay, you're going to pay through the nose, but there's lots of people out there that will just want you to come and collect their greenhouse. You'll have to dismantle it usually, but they're happy for you just to take it away, and that was the case with this one. It's 8 foot by 10 foot, so it's a good size. It's not the only greenhouse we want to get on this plot. We'd like to get quite a few, or maybe a large polytunnel, but because funds are quite tight at the minute, we're going down the route of this greenhouse. Today's plan is to get it erected, but before we do that we have to get a base sorted out for it, and what I've got are some pieces of metal that I fished out of a skip on the building site where I'm working at the minute. So we'll get measurements for the base of this greenhouse, cut those to suit, bolt them together, and that'll be our foundation. Should give us a good starting platform. So I've not come on my own today. We've got helping hands. Louise has decided to make a special appearance. She's got her shears in her hand, and what she's going to do is try and battle through some of the brambles at the back of the position where we want to put the greenhouse. You can see from a line of trees that it was an old hedge at one point, and it's been massively overgrown or overtaken by brambles. So we need to really get through that. We will re-establish the hedge when we can get to it a bit clearer. But for now, to make clear way for the greenhouse, Louise is going to hack it. And just so you can get a clear picture of how far overgrown this hedgerow is, the brambles are about 7 metres deep, 2 metres high. They're taking up loads of ground. In fact, we've got brambles taking over a lot of this ground. All good if you want to pick blackberries, but no good if you want to do something else on the ground. We must have 2 acres of bramble to get through on this whole site. Right, so here's the bucket of pieces that I've got from when I dismantled the greenhouse. All the clips, most of the clips, nuts and bolts. So what I need to do is build the greenhouse just in its frame, not loading out any of the glass, and then I can get an accurate measurement of how big the base has got to be, so then I can cut this metalwork, bolt it together and make a good base. So after a bit of head scratching, I've managed to get all the pieces in the correct position. All I've got to do is bolt them together now, then we'll get a measurement for how big the base is that I need to make. So there we have it, the basic frame of the greenhouse is put together. What I'll do now is run around with a tape measure, get an accurate measurement for this base. Louise is making inroads to the brambles, so we'll walk around and see what progress Louise has made. The greenhouse took a little bit longer than I expected. All the nuts and bolts are well corroded, being aluminium and being very old. Louise is about halfway into this bramble bush. Another 3 metres to go and she'll see the other side. That's one of the sides cut, 3 more to go. We can start getting it pinned together. So we've got all 4 pieces of the base cut. I'm just starting to assemble them. What I have also done is cut the lips out on the 2 end pieces, like so, so that the sides will sit in. As you can see, the sides will sit in, front and back overlap, and then what I'll do, I've got a self-drilling screw that'll fit top and bottom, and that should secure the base. So that's it, I've got the base complete. This is the bottom of the base. I've got 2 fixings in each corner, just to stop it from moving out of being square. On the other side I've only got 1 fixing in each corner, and that's so the base of the greenhouse will sit tight to it. And where I want to put the greenhouse is pretty much where this pile of brambles is, so we'll get that cleared. I'll get Louise to give me a hand carrying the frame over, and then we'll site the greenhouse body on the frame that I've just built. Louise has almost reached the other side of the bramble patch. Carry it straight over. So that's it, I've got the base put together. Louise is just clearing up around where we're going to place the greenhouse. So there's the base, all screwed together and square. We've got the greenhouse frame, and then where we're going to put it is just here in this area. The track of the sun comes up in the east and then sets in the west. So we're placing the greenhouse north to south, so both sides of the greenhouse will get equal amounts of sun, apart from there'll be a bit of shade from these trees. So we'll move the base over and get the frame screwed to the base. This is even heavier.
Where are you going to grab it? My arms are looking.
Fit.
Yeah.
Look at that. Well, that's it, the frame's down, the greenhouse frame is on top. What I need to do is get some stakes to drive into the corners and then screw those to the base, and that's what will stop this thing from blowing away when the wind gets up. It'll also help level the thing because this ground is quite uneven. We'll get it levelled, might have to dig a bit of a trench, and potentially we're going to go for a no-dig approach within this greenhouse. So that was half the reasoning behind putting such a big base on. It does two things: it increases the head height, giving us more room to grow, so we can let the tomatoes and such go a lot bigger, hopefully getting more fruit. But it also gives us the depth now to do a no dig. We can just put cardboard down on that, fill it full of compost, and get straight to growing. So that's about all we've got time for today. I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe.